I saw a lady struggling to collapse a folding table this week. I went over and said, "You need to push the little ring down the leg to get it to collapse." And she said, well, she knew that, but it still wasn't working. She seemed annoyed. I apologized for mansplaining, and then I reached over and took my fist and collapsed the table. Again, I apologized, and she said, "That's okay. Sometimes it just takes a man to get things done." Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Sunday Coffee Hour, we talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday, we talked about having a pain bandwidth, hiding family photos, anti-Semitism, Jane Pauley, and being denied medical attention. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Isaiah. We expect justice, but experience bloodshed instead. And Philippians, zeal can make you a persecutor of the church for love and faith in Christ. The gospel was from Matthew. Let us kill the heir and claim the inheritance. At Washington National Cathedral, the sermon was by Leonard Hamlin. Mr. Hamlin preached about coming together for a moment like this, together in worship here and around the world. It's always significant. Mr. Hamlin asked if we're interested in being shaped by Jesus or more interested in justifying our own unworthy ends in the process. Are we interested in building the beloved community or obtaining material things? And does building the beloved community always mean getting rid of the not so beloved people? We always seem to be so quick to identify them. Something is terribly wrong in the scriptures and in the world. We see divisions and separations. Mr. Hamlin said people who worked the land in the Bible were often working the land owned by foreign owners. Instead of wanting to be in a relationship, we often resent offering what is owed. In fact, we plot against them. We all live in two realms, the realm within and the realm without. In the without of our lives, there's a great temptation to absorb the within part of our lives completely without giving what is within its due. Usually this happens for power, money, and control. It's not a new story. But when we can come together in communion without exercising our option for personal gain, it's significant in our life and in the life of the world. It's truly significant. At St. James Cathedral, Lisa shared her experience at the Faith and Blue conference held at the University of Chicago recently. Lisa said Faith and Blue is a national organization to tap into faith-based groups to grow community of shared values. Lisa said that churches represent the greatest resource of volunteers in this nation, and that the shared values are beauty, relationship, and love. When we all meet on the level of what we have in common, instead of how we're all different, we experience communion instead of social justice. And in communion, we experience the social justice of mutual respect and kindness. Often, healing is about perceiving something in a new way. This is what church traditionally has done best, seeing things in a new way. Being in relationship with police allows the police to operate in community with the people they serve instead of being alien to it. If church can be the connector, we can all rise above the zero-sum game we all seem to be in. Sometimes we need to put our money where our mouth is. You have to often give up something in the process. Often it's about giving up our ego, our pain, or our suffering to see things in a new way. It sounds easy because it's so obvious, but often it's the most obvious things that are the hardest things to see. At the East Bank Club this week, I asked the lady at the front desk if she was having a good day. And she said, "Yes, I am. I'm seeing the joy in everything." I was startled by that because it was not the answer I was expecting. At Washington National Cathedral, Mr. Hamlin said we can see God in the water when we're thirsty and in bread when we're hungry. It's the seeing the joy in everything. When my friend Marcia Heiser was selected to serve on session, she was so excited to think of where she could serve. She loved spiritual things, music, and the arts, but Marcia was really, really good at writing newsletters, and she was selected to serve on session because of her communication skills. We all want to be called to our heart's desire, but the world doesn't always see us that way. Sometimes we can struggle all we want to collapse the table, but sometimes it takes someone stronger than us to get the job done. I was on a packed L train this week. I was 6 people deep back from the nearest exit when the train came to the next stop. The guy next to me started to try to make his way out of the train. I asked if he was getting off at this stop, and he said, yes, he was. I said, well, then you need to be more aggressive. Sometimes if you're going to get somewhere in life, you need to be a lot more aggressive. In the Essays of the Variety of Religious Experiences by William James, he said there's a difference between the church triumphant and the church militant. And there's a difference between being a Christian and having a religious experience. This week, we learned that there's a difference between being anti-Semitic and being anti-Jewish. Sometimes in life, we need to be more aggressive. Sometimes we need to tell people to write their own newsletter. And sometimes it takes a man to get things done. None of us need to be diminished by it, apologize for it, or explain it. Someone did come to get that job done, and now it's our time for us to get it all together, come together in our shared values, and get this job done. Having a shared communal experience is part of the process of finding our own salvation individually and collectively. And there's nothing more significant than that. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour is every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.